So I started off by trying to situate ecolocalism not as a new form of globalism or as a form of convergence, but as a form of post-global location. Okay, so again, to rehearse, traditional conceptions of the dialectical relationship between local and global tend to understand it in terms of a consciousness or an awareness of the global that itself produces the local. Okay, however, ecolocalism begins not with an awareness of interconnectedness, okay, but rather an awareness of potential disconnect, an assertion of an impending global collapse, and local action to build the resilience necessary to transcend such collapse. That's what ecolocalism is about, right? So this gives it a dual character. On the one hand, the specter of collapse implies that ecolocalism pronounces the end of globalization as we know it. Okay, hence John Ralston Searle's book, The Collapse of Globalism. On the other, the awareness of potential disconnect does not deny, but conversely adds another layer to the idea of a global consciousness itself, right? And this duality is what, to me, makes ecolocalism post-global, right, rather than global per se. So this has implications for organizational studies on several fronts. For one, it's clear that scholars need to study these paradoxical kinds of post-global forms of organizing and take them seriously, even as they study the transformative impact that connectedness has had on civic engagement and collective action. So I think that studying ecolocal movements can eventually transform how we understand social movements because let me see how to say this, because it will transform how we see social movements because it will make us engage with yet another paradox. When you think about some of the quintessential features of contemporary social movements, those features are what? They are complexity and they are connectedness. That's how we see social movements today, right? We'll talk about this later. But these two features, complexity and connectedness, come into tension with ecolocal initiatives or ecolocal goals such as simplicity or localism and autonomy. So simplicity versus complexity, autonomy versus connectedness. So that I think will really sort of like shake up, I think, how we eventually understand what a contemporary social movement is, when its very goals stand in tension with what we see as its features.